Hi everyone, managing state in Angular can be challenging. That's why NgRx comes into play. Today we'll explore how to develop an e-commerce app using actions, reuses, selectors, and effects. Download the sample application from GitHub. I'll provide the link in the description below, and install the node packages by running the npm I command. I open the project on VS Code, pull up a new terminal and type NGS to run the application locally. Navigate to the application URL. We're displaying a list of products from a fake API. We have the option to filter products by name, so we can navigate to the product view page. The goal of this tutorial is to keep the state of the application when navigating to a different view and going back to this product list component. The idea is to filter the products based on the current state. And we also want to load the products from an API by using NgRx effects. So go to VS Code, stop the application, and the first main NgRx component is the store itself. So we'll install the required library. The store is an immutable data structure that holds the application state. Type npm I NgRx store. We'll add the force flag to ignore any conflict. Go to the configuration file and add the store in application. We'll call provide store. Import this provide store from NgRx store. We'll handle the state of application by using features. So from the product feature, we'll create a new folder called state. The first NgRx component is the action. Actions are events. We dispatch an event from the component. So create a new file called product.actions.ts. Add a new constant called feature name. In this case will be a product feature, and we'll reuse this feature name in all the actions. We will create a new constant called search name action to filter the products by using the name property. So we'll call create action from NgRx store. The first parameter is the action type, so we'll use the feature name, and the second parameter is the metadata that we can define for handling this action. In this case will be the search name property. The second NgRx component is the reuser to modify the state of our store. Reusers are pure functions. They respond to actions to modify the store state. So create a new file called product.reuses.ts, and we'll add a new interface called product state to store the state for our product feature with just the search name at this moment. So we'll create a new constant called product reuser and then update this product state. Call the create reuser function from NgRx store and pass product state as generic type. The first parameter is the initial state of this object. We'll initialize as an empty search name, and we can associate the actions to modify the state of this product feature. So call the on function. The first parameter is the search name action to associate, and the second parameter is a lambda function to basically get the current state and the action. So we will create a copy of the state by using this spread operator, and we'll just modify the search name property. Go to the configuration file and add this reuser to the store. So we'll add the product feature with the associated reuser. Import the product reuser. Now go to the product list component and we'll dispatch an action to update the search name field. So we'll inject the store in this component at the import from NgRx. And when we search products, we'll dispatch the action. So call store.dispatch. We'll pass the action type and the metadata with the search name. So go back to the product actions and copy this part, which is the action type. It will be the same. Import the feature name constant. The next NgRx component is the selector to subscribe to the store. Selectors are functions that take slices from the store. Components query the state through selectors. So add a new file called product.selectors.ts. We'll create a new constant called product selector to get the product state. So we'll create a new feature selector because it's based on the product feature and pass the name of the feature. And we'll take a slide of the state from this product state. So we'll add a new search name selector. And we'll create a new selector from NgRx store by passing the product selector and take only the search name. So we'll specify which interface we're using, which is the product state. So with this selector, we'll get the search name from store. So go back to the product list, and in the ng on init, we'll call the store, and we'll select a particular selector, which in this case will be the search name selector. Go back. Let's mark it as export keyword, and to describe this observable, and we'll set the search name by using this value from store, and we'll call the search products function. We'll make a slight change. We'll create a new get products function to get the products from the API. So copy these lines of code. So here we'll call just get products, and when we search products, when we update the filter, we'll dispatch the action. So from the store, we'll subscribe to the search name selector, modify the search name, and get the products from the API. Save it. Now clear the console and type NGS to run the application and test the implementation. Navigate to the URL. So we have the product list. Let's filter the products by name. Navigate to the product view page and go back. As you will see, the state is preset. Basically, when we apply the filter, we dispatch the action. Then with the reducer, we change the state of our store. With the selector, we subscribe to the store and get the search name. And then we get the products from the API. The last NgRx component is the effect. Effects handle side effects such as API calls. They dispatch new actions based on results. So we'll stop the application. We need to install another library. So type npm i NgRx effects to handle side effects such as API calls. We'll add the force flag to ignore any conflict. Execute this command. Now from the state folder, we'll create a new file called product.effects. So add a new class called product effects. We'll inject the HTTP client to perform the HTTP call, and we'll inject an action, which is an observable, at the HTTP client and the actions from NgRx effects. So import these actions. This actions observable emits all actions from our application. So let's create a new variable called products. We'll call the create effect function from NgRx effects. We'll create a new lambda function. We'll specify the action and we'll pipe this observable. We'll define the type that we want to listen, which is get products action. We'll define this action in the corresponding file. So when this action is invoked, we'll run this effect to get the products from the API. Then we'll use the merge map operator from RxJS to basically call the API and get the products, add the reference to the product DTO, and we'll pipe this observable to map the response, and we'll transform this observable, this single observable that returns the merge map, to a new load products action, and we'll pass the products as metadata. Save it. Now go to the config file and we'll provide this effect in the application. So called provide effects. Add this provide effects from NgRx effects, and we'll pass the current product effects that we created. Let's create the two actions. The get products action to dispatch the action to invoke the effect, to call the API, and with the load products action, we'll subscribe to the store and get the products. So let's define these two actions. Define the get products action with the action type, and there is no metadata for this action. For the loads products action, we'll get the product list, define the action type. From the properties, we'll get the products, which is a product DTO array. Save it, go back to the fetch and import these actions. Save it. Now go back to the product list TypeScript file and we'll dispatch an action to get the products from the API. In the ng on init, we'll remove this get products call. Instead, we'll use the store.select. So we need to define the selector to get the products from the product state. So go to the product selector and we'll create a new load products selector. Based on the product selector, which is a feature selector, we'll take a property called products. So we need to go to the reduce and associate the action to modify the state of our store. So for the product state, we'll add the products, which is a product in DTO array. Define the initial state as an empty object for the products, and we'll associate the second action for this product reduce to modify the products. Add the reference to the load products action. We'll create a copy of the state, but instead we'll modify the products property. Let's save it, go back to selectors, and we can take the slice of the store by taking the products from the product state. Now go back to the product list. In the ng on init, we'll dispatch the action to load the products. So go back to the product actions and we'll pass the action type. It has no metadata. And instead of using the HTTP dependency, we can remove this HTTP dependency. We'll copy this part, and for the products property, we can define directly because we're using the async pipe to subscribe automatically. Instead of using the HTTP client, we'll use the selector from the store to subscribe to any changes for the product state. For the get products action, so call a store.select, and we'll take the load product selector and basically take the products and filter the products based on the search name. So we can remove this get products function. In the ng on init, we subscribe to get the search name value from the store, and then we dispatch this action to get the products from the effect. So when we subscribe by using this load product selector, we'll filter the products from the API call. Let's save it and now clear the console, run the application again and test the implementation. Navigate to the application, and now we're loading the products from the API by using NgRx effects. We can apply the filter by name. We can navigate to a product view, go back, and the application state is maintained for this product feature. Here are some helpful tips to consider. For complex applications with NgRx, organize your state into feature modules to facilitate easier management. Handle errors from side effects such as API calls, and explore the powerful NgRx dev tools, which provide essential tools for debugging the store. At the end, NgRx is a powerful tool for state management, particularly in large Angular applications, that provides a clear separation of consents. If you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.